Hello awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2. Today we're going to have a ZvP. It's going to be our Millennium player PtitDrogo, who is from France. He's 20 years old, he's fairly new on the scene, and he's going to be fighting up against Elazer, who is from Poland. He's on Team True Esport, and he is just 18 years old. So these two players, as I said, fairly new on the scene. They've been around since about 2014, both of them actually. So not a huge amount of series and details to go through in the past. Not really going to go into too much details because I'm not really that familiar with pretty much any of the pro players on the scene at the moment, other than, you know, the more experienced, super old ones, who would be probably about 24, 25 years old at this stage. But that's not important. So, fresh on the scene, hoping to get some success in this tournament. And we do have a hatchery first coming out from Elazer. Nexus is going down for PtitDrogo also, so not deciding to go for a gateway just yet. He's probably going to put it down now at this point. There we go. Now he does opt to get the block on this side, which I suppose is quite standard. It's not too bad. And it does appear that Elazer managed to send the Overlord in the perfect direction, which is going to give him a nice advantage when his Zerglings come up. Now just to note, he does have quite an early gas there, so he's going to have enough gas for metabolic boost as soon as it's up, which is definitely something you want to have if you plan on doing some early aggression. So this Overlord is going to spot the Protoss player in just a moment now. There we go. So at this point he's aware of exactly where PtitDrogo is. Now he's pretty sure that at this point PtitDrogo knows where he is also, so he does decide to bring it all the way in. Looks like there's a double gateway before this cybernetic score, which is definitely something that would be useful if we see early aggression, which we just very well might. There is, as I predicted, a metabolic boost out as soon as that 100 gas hits. And these Zerglings, they're rushing straight for that base. Are they? No, one is going for the probe, the other one is going for the base. So probably just going to try to see if there's a second base here, which of course he is going to find. At this point Elazer is going to know that this is the case, since there is such late gateways. Double adept coming out also, so that's definitely something useful for him. Gonna be able to ward off these Zerglings quite easily. Now, to be honest, if that first Zergling decided to go for the base straight away, he would have actually gotten it straight into the base. But he decided to just bring it down there and sit in place, not move anywhere. Now he does appear to be putting on a little bit of aggression with these adepts. A little bit dangerous actually. And funny enough, this Overlord is actually going to be scouting out this Stargate pretty much straight away, which honestly, I don't understand from PtitDrogo's point of view. What was the thought process behind that? Because anything he makes at this point is going to be spotted pretty much straight away. So the question is going to be, is it a fake Stargate just to throw him off a little bit? So a bit of economic damage here. 4 drones taken out. I believe they're... Oh, no, the 5th one does survive. Just sitting there and minding his own business. He's like, well, you didn't kill me, so... that's gonna not pay off very well. So there we go, we do have the Spore Crawler on the way. There's an Oracle actually coming out of the Stargate. So as I said, I don't quite understand. Usually you expect the Oracle to come out when you think that the Zerg player, or any other race actually, is not going to be prepared for it. But here, Elazer is going to be prepared for it pretty much from the get-go. He's going to know that it's coming, he's going to see it straight away. And that can't end well for this Oracle. I mean, he could potentially just use it for scouting, maybe catch some transferring drones. That would be an option. So as you can see here, 1, 2, and 3 already up for the Spore Crawlers. Oh, so he's actually in the 3rd, so he did manage to pick off 2 drones here, which I suppose is okay. Still hasn't paid for the Oracle. He does have the vision of the 3rd base, so that is a little bit of an advantage for him. Although Elazer is pretty sure, or pretty aware also, that there's no other base for him either. A second Oracle is on the field, nothing being produced at this moment. There is roaches on the way for Elazer also, just completing that now. There's a layer about to be complete. And a big chunk of roaches actually put out straight away. 7 roaches in production. Now this is going to be quite good to counter these adepts. All of these of the drones actually start to get cleaned up here. Does bring the adepts into the main base. About to take out a queen. Very nice play here, managing to snipe that out very quickly. Uses the psionic transfer to get out of this base also, possibly not going to lose anything even. It's so much economic damage being done here. 5 drones in total already. These Zerglings start trying to take out a pylon. I'm not quite sure if they'll manage that. And there we go, 7 drones taken out with the roaches popping out, so at this point he's going to have to back on out and stay a little bit safe. Now at this point, this adept aggression is going to pretty much get warded off by, you know, every time. Because even if he does decide to, you know, okay, I'll sacrifice these adepts, sacrifice the adepts, take out a few drones, he will lose all of those drones. He probably won't be able to kill a single roach unless he focuses it down pretty hard. So it would really be to his best interest to use them for defensive purposes right now, maybe a bit of scouting, and send one into the base every now and then just to, just see what's going on. Although at the same time he does have 2 oracles on the field, so definitely able to use that. And both of these oracles now starting to get a little bit low. Would want to back them up. The queen defending her brood, which of course is her job. That, and of course providing additional larvae, because that's how bugs typically work. I don't know if you've seen some of those Discovery Channel things where you see into an ant's nest and there's all of these small little workers and this one giant ass fat queen who's just, her job is essentially to make babies. Now 1 Void Ray out on the field. This is starting to take out overlords and is going to be quite significant if he catches more of these overlords out. As you can see, there's about 6 of them in total, including this overseer, which I believe he's actually sending this Void Ray straight for the overseer. Of course, scouting information is very important, and this overseer is a nuisance here. Looks like more gateways being thrown down. Why can't I not target this? It is a gateway indeed. And there it is. This Void Ray decides to stop here. He's not aware of the overseer, just about out of range. Now the one thing to note is if he saw this, he would get 2 units here at 1 instead of 1, and that would be quite significant in terms of damage. Now this creep spread is actually getting quite good here from Elazer. He's starting to make his way into the Protoss base, and that is going to start becoming more and more significant, because anytime that the Protoss is going to want to expand, he's going to want to move out, Elazer is going to have a advantage of knowing exactly where he is straight away. And there is an observer in here, so this creep tumor coming out at the worst possible time. Does get taken out, going to start just receding a little bit of this creep back, but as I said, Elazer is going to be preparing his units. He is going to be in position to defend against this. Now are these lurkers? No, they're actually ravagers. That is quite alright. We do have an evolution chamber, double evolution chamber here. Not quite sure why he puts them right there, because it does give him a little bit less surface area to surround the Protoss player. So he has a few spaces here and a few spaces here, which is nothing that you really want as the Protoss player. I'm not quite sure if 4 force fields were worth 1 Hydralisk, but a little bit late for that. I suppose he wanted to catch out a few more units. And there you go, the full engage going on here. A huge actually just 3 Archons on the field also. I do think this is going to go towards the Protoss in favor, but he does decide to back off a little bit. Not quite sure how it'll turn out. So of course being safe is better than risking too much, especially when it's a tournament game. This, by the way, is day number 4 from the HomeStory Cup number 12. So this is the final day and every game here matters. It is a best of 5. Also, I should have mentioned that at the beginning. And there we go, a few more engages. These zealots are going to get cleaned up just a little bit because they have overcommitted. And it's very strange seeing zealots in Legacy of the Void, to be honest. Usually they're just used for blocking, but looks like PtitDrogo just wants to use them for tanking a little bit. As you can see, 1 armor out the get-go. No upgrades as of yet. Now there is the, what are they called? Muscular augments. They basically increase the range and movement speed of Hydralisks off creep, which is pretty damn useful. Now PtitDrogo is deciding to send these zealots off just to basically scout out if there's another base. Is going to be able to clean out this roach pretty damn easy. Zealots are actually surprisingly good against roaches. And does take that roach out. Now there's a huge engage here again. There is lurkers in this army. One gets taken out pretty much straight away. The second one does manage to bury. Gonna have to back on out of here. I'm not actually seeing the observer, so I'm not quite sure if it's here at all. There's a drop going off here as well. A few zealots gonna be using this to pretty much clean up as much as possible. Does decide to focus the hatchery. Now if he gets this hatchery down, it's gonna hit Elazer quite significantly in terms of economy. Does manage to take it out. Just sacrifices these zealots for that. Now the fourth base also coming out for PtitDrogo, which is very, very good, coming off the back of destroying a base for Elazer. So he is going to be on equal bases once that's up. He's probably going to decide to put the hatchery up here again, simply because if he doesn't, these buildings are going to get destroyed, including the Roach Warren, which is quite significant. Definitely does not want to lose that. That's going to slowly start to die off. It's like a plant, you know, you don't have any soil beneath it, so it will start to die off slowly, unless it's one of those plants that doesn't do that, but no need to get too technical here. And the lurker here gets cleaned up, and this gives Elazer the perfect scouting information that he needs. Now there is these zealots, they're going to start doing a bit of damage here, but I'm going to focus on a bigger army here, which is taking out a few reinforcing zealots. And oh my god, this is actually perfect for PtitDrogo. If his force is more powerful here, he will be able to cut off all of the Zerg units and clean them up very quickly. These zealots focusing down another hatchery. Very good play here from PtitDrogo, managing to control the economy of Elazer by simply doing zealot drops. Now I do see on the minimap he does decide to call them back, so these Zerg units getting cleaned up completely. Lurkers in the expansion here. Is he going to be able to do much damage here? And he decides to focus the pylon. Does actually take out a few. There's 14 probes in total taken out, which I believe includes some in this base as well. No, actually, does appear to be just this base. They do now get cleaned up. Doesn't manage to actually take any of these pylons, which is a little bit unfortunate. Did finish off this base afterwards, and now just bringing them in here. I'm not quite sure how much he's going to be able to do. Maybe take out one or two Hydralisks, and that's pretty much it. No, he does decide to, or manage to control the Hydralisks enough to keep them out of harm's way. Now this is going to be quickly spreading out again, just to keep these buildings alive. Does use the Overlord here to keep the evolution chamber alive. That not something you want to lose. And Roach Warren still bleeding out, and now has stopped, finally reaching some creep, saying, ooh, sacred ground. And now it does look Elazer is now on the fort, coming on the fort base again. So currently he's behind. This is something I mention all the time. The Zerg always wants to be at least one base ahead of his opponent. That way he does have the production and economy capabilities of keeping up with the enemy player. Now here we do have 2 disruptors. We have a lot of Archons. That is a total of 8. And a 3rd disruptor actually joining this group as well. Oh no, these disruptors are going to get caught out. He does not focus them down, though. That's the only unfortunate thing here. So the 2 disruptors do manage to get away here and do a bit of damage with the Purification Nova. A GG is called by Elazer. He does recognize that he is so far behind at this point that not much that he can do. And that is game number 1. And so game number 1 ends. This, by the way, I forgot to mention, I did mention it quite late. Best of 5 in this case. It's actually the last day of the HomeStory Cup, number 12. So that's pretty much it. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, my subscription button is right underneath my face. It's also at the bottom of the video if you're on a desktop. And my social media links are actually on the right hand side here. If you want to follow me, you're very welcome to. You'll get updates on every time I'm uploading. Please leave any comments and suggestions that you have. I do take feedback quite seriously. And as well, obviously, if you want to leave it a thumbs up, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys in game number 2.